Welcome to Rich Keys Trading Channel, where we unlock one candle at a time. Please pay attention to the disclaimer on your screen. And with that out of the way, let's get into the charts. Okay, welcome to Rich Keys Trading. Today is October 26, 2025. It's about 10 a.m. New York time, Sunday. And I'm just presenting my analysis I've done over the weekend on these major assets and indices, mostly the dollar index, Bitcoin, Nasdaq 100, XPX 500, gold, and silver. These are the ones I publicly share. Um, and I would want to just also caution that it's my perspective. You must do your own research, do your own analysis as well. It's not financial advice. I'm not asking you to buy or sell anything here. I'm just demonstrating the charts to teach and also to project where I think the market is going. So without much ado, let's get into the chart. I also want to also say that the this week coming has a lot of news events. I think we have news on Monday, durable good orders. We also do have the Fed funds rate, I think, on Tuesday, if I'm correct. Yeah, and we do have I think core inflation news on Thursday. We do have jobless claim also on Thursday. So yeah, it's a very action packed week. I think we also do have the core PCE inflation on Friday, and all these pieces of news is bound to affect the chart in one way or the other. So keep that also in mind. It's a very action-packed week. I think it's also the same time period where we shall have the big tech giants also announce earnings. So it's going to be a confluence of news on the market in this coming week. Very busy week, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's see what the technicals is. That's what I'm interested in. I don't necessarily trade news, but I do look at it. So the dollar index, as we can see, on a higher time frame is still in a downtrend. We form a double bottom here on this daily chart. As you can see, we came to this bottom and we came right here and have a strong volume supporting the move and a sharp reverse from here. And I think this double bottom pattern is playing out so far. It's a lot of hesitation, but it's playing out, and probably will get to its intended target. But let's go week by week, candle by candle, and see how it all unfolds. So here we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher low. The question that we have this week is this period here where we've got to, is this forming itself as a lower high or it's a pause from this higher low? And I think this is a pause from the higher low just by the fact that with these rejection candles that was printed on Wednesday and Thursday that shoot us down, the response was a quick absorption of the sell that brought us right back to where we started. And I think the bulls actually ended the day in green. So I expect this to be a continuation. In other words, lower prices have been rejected clearly, and I'm expecting the dollar index to make the next move up to the liquidity zone right about this level, somewhere around 99,534. When we get there, we'll reassess and know where the chart is going next. Okay, so the next asset I like to look at is the Bitcoin chart, and Bitcoin is still in a corrective distribution from my perspective. We did a sharp sell off from this triple top level, and we seem to have come to find some level of support right here, but this support is kind of on low volume so far. If you look at the sell volumes here and you look at the buy volumes, obviously you could see there's more higher peaks of the bar for the selling than the buying. And I think this move that we have in here this weekend is part of a corrective move from the 126 high all the way to the 103 low. Now we did the first impulse up and then we sold off, and we have done this wave C as I'm counting it to be. The key question for us this week, as this unfolds, is how far is Wave C going to go? I have a few levels I have in mind to share, and I think the first level that I'm eyeing is right about where we are now as I record this video, which is where I've marked as critical level, the 117,653. This is a fib extension 0.618, okay, from the low of 103. Um, it might pose as its resistance since it also was not able to clear it here. There is a few divergence also on this candle. However, since the day is not completed, the divergences are unconfirmed. Um, I'm also watching this level here because of this area, which is the point 0.5 fib retrace from the high of 126. Okay, 126, 296. This is the 50% Fibonacci retrace level, to see whether it's a confluence of a resistance, and that will probably be where Bitcoin rally would get up to. If it's able to break this level, then obviously we'll be looking at 117, 949 thereabout, or 653 thereabout, which is a confluence of also the golden zone, which is the 0.618 fib retrace, and it's also the fib extension from the 103 as a 100%. So the move is not completed. We don't have a rejection candle yet on the daily. However, this is where I postulating that the rally from this corrective move would end, and then we shall continue our downtrend to the downside. Um, yeah, I'm not expecting this to go break the all-time high, but that could be an invalidation once this level is breached. So in my opinion, if price closes above $118,000 thereabout, that will invalidate the corrective move, and potentially we might be coming to test the all-time high. But that's just the validation level. I'm not expecting price to make it above this level. So that's my take on Bitcoin. I think the next asset I'll look at is gold. And here is also the daily chart of gold, with such a strong bearish engulfing candle after such a beautiful breakout rally. Um, I'm not sure whether gold would make it up to this level again to retest this high here, 43.81. I doubt that, based on this bearish engulfing candle, based also on this volume pattern that I'm reading here, where we have these small body candles forming on huge volumes. It's just telling me that there's an exchange of hands here. More likely, big investors that traded gold are probably taking advantage to sell to the formal retailers who are coming in, buying at the top. So that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but these candles, these volumes, it's an anomaly. And with such a strong bearish engulfing candle, I think gold would continue its downwards projection in the next coming week as well. If you step down to the 4 hour setup, it's a very interesting setup that I observed. I think I already posted a chart on it on TradingView. So this is a double top that I looked at when it formed. Beautiful downward movement, and we did move up to test the base. We actually couldn't even get to all the way to the base. So this is the test of the base unsuccessfully, and we seem to be just consolidating here. And I think this consolidation probably would occur in the next few hours into Monday or Tuesday, and then probably a continuation of the selling would occur. Probably it might coincide with the Fed funds rate. Who knows? But you know, I'm not expecting gold to continue grinding higher from here. So my target wise, I'm expecting gold to reach the double top target, which is somewhere around 3,982, and might consolidate here before the ultimate target of about 3826, which is also the 13 exponential moving average on the weekly chart. So that's my take on gold. I'm not expecting further upside above this 43.81. If we do, then it's probably going to do a triple top, which is also very possible. But again, if you come and look at this chart on the monthly chart, right? So if this is just unsustainable, you know. And if this month end, there's a few more days before the end of the month. So even if we do get a pullback to what 39.98 at the end of the month, then that forms a shooting star on the monthly chart, and I would expect a further pull down of the price action on gold. So caution on gold. Not expecting further upside in the next coming week at all. Let's look at silver next and see what silver looks like. They are both in similar category, rallying strongly this latter part of 2025. Yes, and exactly as I was looking at, similar to the gold chart, this silver chart is also looking very bearish, in my opinion. If you look at the weekly, silver is actually in a worse position than gold, with a strong bearish engulfing candle, shooting star bearish engulfing candle. I'm not expecting further upside on silver anytime soon. Um, it came to find some form of a support. This is the 2011 high. If you go down to, let me see if I can zoom it all out in. So if you look at the chart from 2011, this is right here, 2011, this was a peak, all right? So we came right there and we seem to retest whether this high would hold. Now, I don't think this high is going to hold with this bearish golden candle on the weekly chart. And if you zoom down to the daily, the daily is giving you, again, like I was saying, this is the scenario where yes, this is the scenario where I think the big investors that bought silver very cheap are probably selling to retailers who are coming in to chase the FOMO here. So again, the volumes are huge, the candles are very small, um, with no significant move to the upside. It tells me, more likely, someone is selling to someone, or somebody is absorbing the selling. That's also a possibility. But if they absorb the selling, then usually what I do is I do expect price to push up, not stay still. So that's why I'm more of a bearish signal here to me. If you go down to the 4 hours is, even giving you all the clues that we made this low, lower high. This technically is a head and shoulder pattern right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and your baseline is right up here. So we're breaking the baseline as well. See if I can draw a line for the baseline just to demonstrate here. So here is it. All right. So this is a typical head and shoulder pattern. You have your head, left shoulder here, your head here, your right shoulder here, and you've broken it. And I think this is making itself way down to potential target for me. As I would probably measure. Let me see if I can put my measuring tape on here. Um, see how far trade on silver could get us to. I didn't do that before the recording, but it doesn't hurt to do it whilst recording. So if we should make an equal distance even to this level, comes right to the pullback level, which is the, wow, this is amazing. It comes right up to what, 41 as my target for silver. If not in this coming week, then it probably be in the next couple of weeks. So that's my target for silver. That it plays out to the Fibonacci retrace of 0.382. It's also showing the head and shoulder target right there, and it's a confluence of a target. So I'll be watching for what silver does when it gets to this price target in the next week or next coming week. I'll look at the equities now, look at XPX and then the NASDAQ 100, and then we shall conclude the video analysis for this weekend. All right, so this is the 4-hour chart of the NASDAQ 100 index. Let's go to the daily chart. 'Cause I like what the daily chart looks like more than the 4 hours. We shall go to 4 hours, but let's look at the daily chart. As the daily chart shows, we broke above the resistance high. We closed above the resistance high. Bulls are obviously in charge here. All right. Now the only thing I do observe here is that the bulls are losing steam. Usually if you get a volume to the resistance, good, which we did have here. This was a good volume to the resistance level, but as we broke out of this resistance, the volume seems to be dying out. Okay. And that's a little bit of a concern for a continuation. And so, whilst the NASDAQ 100 potentially could continue rallying after a breakout of the resistance, I also do see that this could also be a troublesome breakout, probably as somebody would call a fake out. Why? Because if you step down again to the 4 hours, that's where I was looking at. And on this 4 hour setup, you can see the volume that took us there was pretty strong. But right after we get there, there's hesitation and there's selling at the moment. So what I'm looking at next, whether this continues its way up, whether bulls will be able to step up their strength. Again, like I was saying, there's a lot of tech earnings to be reported in the next coming week. So who knows? It could change this whole picture here. But if we do get a pullback to this level and find support here, okay. So on the 4 hours, I'll be looking whether a candle opens and closes either below or above here. So this is my invalidation or my trade signal. If we get support here, strong support here on good volume, I would expect the Nasdaq to continue going higher. If we do get a break of this level, a candle open and close on 4 hours at this place, I would also then observe that this was a fake out. The liquidity for all the shorts here have been taken, and they probably will move the price action to the downside. So that's my take on Nasdaq 100. On the XPX 500 next is what I'll be looking at. All right, so XPX 500 also did a nice breakout of the resistance, all-time resistance, into a new high. Um, Again, similar to the Nasdaq 100, I'm observing the volume that took us there. And the volume, as you can see, was strong to get into the resistance, slightly weaker as we broke out, into the high, suggesting that, the buying strength is dying out. And again, if you go on 4-hour time frame, you could see there's already hesitation right above the all-time high. Again, similar to the Nasdaq 100 setup, I'll be watching for either a support at this level or a break below this level for a trade buyers in the next coming week. If we do get support here when market opens, more likely we're going to go for the upside, and my target at that point would be the 68.53 immediate target. Will be my target for next coming week. And if we do break below here, I would expect that the move up is down, and we'll probably revisit this liquidity zone right here. There were a lot of people that took a short here that are trapped, and if price comes here, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy to offload, their short position. So these are the two places that I'm looking at on XPX 500. And I think that wraps it up for the weekly analysis. I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to my analysis. I wish you a profitable trade in the next coming week. And I always caution risk management is critical, okay, on any investment as well as on any trade that you're going to put on. Please make sure you are putting stop losses in place, and your trade plan is having those risk management in place in terms of position size, invalidation levels. I've been watching these things too often. I have to kind of remind anyone who listens to my analysis, please practice risk management as well as money management for your analysis that you put on a trade. All right, so I think I'm done. It's all under 20 minutes, and I'm glad I was able to do that. Have a great trading week. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for listening and unlocking trade ideas and insights with us. One candle changed everything today. I hope you can already see how today's analysis can transform your trading decisions. If today's breakdown helped you spot opportunities or potential risks you would have otherwise missed, please consider subscribing and imagine what we will uncover together next time. Kindly give the video a like and share with an investor or a trader you care about. They would thank you when it saves them from a bad trade or a missed opportunity. Until next time, keep unlocking profits one candle at a time, and we'll meet again in the next video presentation. Cheers.